Hey, everybody. Welcome to Unpopular Opinion. I'm your host, Adam Todd Brown. Jeff,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Oh, I'm going great. I'm feeling good. I got a feeling that today's gonna be a good day.
Don't
That's
be
from the
weird.
the black eyes.
Right.
That's from the black guys. Yeah.
Correct. Hey, Jeff's here. Jeff's
Hey.
here all the time, though. We know that. But also joining us, very special guest, Val Tosi. How's it going?
Oh, hey, it's my morning is fine. It is not as energetic as Jeffrey's, but it is a morning.
Jeff is fired up. That's for sure.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, I'm nearing the height of my power. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how are you even at all confused that I'm not fucking amped at all times for the next 2 weeks?
I gotta tell you, earlier I was like, why don't we just record at my place? Like, I have 2 mics, we can easily do this. And he's like, no, I gotta go to my house. And honestly, the right call. Thank God you're not in my house vibrating right now, because I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah. It's called The Season, Val.
Oh God. Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, it's Christmas. You can tell that because the Jeff May beacon goes up over Los Angeles.
It's more of an air raid
midnight
siren.
at midnight on Thanksgiving Day.
November 1st, really. They get
Yeah.
That's when they start building up the levees.
And as such, I can't believe it, but we are talking about the holidays once again on Unpopular Opinion. We're doing a whole holiday themed Unpopular Opinions episode, which is going to be quite the barn burner, I think.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so, yeah.
I feel
Strong opinions.
I feel like we're going to work some issues out in Jeff and Val's relationship and or cause more.
We always do when she shows up.
Yeah.
Get a lot of comments.
We always do about this time.
Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's
Everyone,
we're doing the
yeah, they
chronic
knew.
intro here.
They were like, you know what? We need a holiday bloodbath. Let's tune into this.
The amount of comments we get from people that are just like, I love seeing you guys like dissolve your relationship on the internet. That's real fun.
I like it too. I think it's very fun to watch. And yeah, that's going to be today. We're talking about unpopular holiday opinions. Who wants to go first? Should I go first?
It's Adam. This is your house party here.
Let's talk about gifts, because I'll just get mine out of the way before Jeff and Val spend the next 45 minutes in a battle to the death about gift giving. I would just say, in terms of Christmas, I love gifts. I like giving gifts. I like getting gifts. It's very fun. But I also think if there's one thing we could kind of like woke out of the process of Christmas, it would probably be gifts, because it's already the most corporate holiday possible.
They are ableist. Yeah.
Like, if you're not a religious person, Christmas really is just a means to get you buying more shit at the end of the year. And it puts, like, it's one thing if you have the money to buy people lots of nice gifts. But as a kid who grew up poor enough that I had one Christmas where I got a bag of socks and a box of blank cassette tapes for Christmas.
More than you deserved.
And they were like dollar store cassette tapes too.
Ooh.
It was very grim.
Yeah, they don't rewind. They
like the gift giving process at Christmas reminds me mostly of a thing me and my family lost when I was very young. Like, we had enough money to have a decent Christmas up to the point where I was like 8. And then Reagan sent my dad's printing job off to Mexico, and we were fucking dirt poor for the rest of my childhood.
I can't stop laughing watching Jeff just rock back and forth, waiting to interject.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I think what that also represents is a very important fundamental problem with the idea of gift giving, which is that it's about spending a lot of money. on a gift, which
I'm talking sometimes not having any money to spend
Yeah,
on
no.
anything.
well, I understand that. Like I get that. And obviously if somebody is like broke or something like that, they shouldn't feel obligated or be expected to fulfill that. For me, and this actually, I can kind of smush this into mine, which is like, because you're right in that, like the automation of gift giving, that it's an automatically accepted thing, that it's like you go out, you spend money. I don't think that that's the point. I think that misses the point, and I agree with you about the, like, you shouldn't have to do that.
The point is consumers spending money.
Yeah, no,
That's the point.
it doesn't have to
Jeff.
be.
Don't pretend
But
it's
here's
not.
the thing, that's not the point for me though. Like it's not like, the point is like, I saw this, I thought of you, I want you to have it. And
Right,
I
but-
understand that those things often cost money, but they don't have to either. You could make something for somebody or whatever. Like, I mean, here's the
But
thing.
Also,
Go ahead.
it's also in that way a little bit like record store day, where people are like, well, why do you need one special day to go out and support your local record store? Like, I actually find it kind of frustrating to buy someone a gift and then wait forever to give it to them. Like, I would rather just, here, I bought you a thing, enjoy it.
I also like when people like in families will be like, okay, our family has grown. There's a lot of people. It's too expensive to buy everybody something. So it's like they end up doing a white elephant or even just like a Secret Santa. So that way you have to get one person a gift, everybody gets a gift, but then it's not overwhelming because it is expensive. And like, I don't have kids and I'm struggling to afford to buy gifts for like the important people in my life. I don't know how people with kids that are expected to give them just so many gifts it's hard.
Yeah, it's not like, here's the thing is, obviously there are extenuating circumstances that happen in all aspects of gift giving, that some people are incredibly wealthy and get people a fucking Lexus with a bow on it for their partner, which is fucking unhinged behavior, by the way.
Ah, shit. There goes my thing.
Is that
for
on your
what you
list?
Yeah.
Was that one?
I actually
Yeah.
got both of you a Lexus with a bow.
Wow.
Oh, is it white so we can be the jerks everyone blames when we're driving? Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So you
I
can
got a
blend
white-
in when you're visiting Jeff in the valley.
Oh, hey, I feel like Christmas lists in general. So this ties off to that part, like, and my view of gift giving, which is it's not about like, oh, I'm going to one up you by giving you something, or, oh, I'm going to spend all this money. But it really comes down to like something, I saw something, it reminded me of you. I thought about it. I put all this effort into thinking of you, and just something like that, like a small $5 thing or a small homemade thing that makes somebody absolutely say, I thought of you, is the best gift. Like, it really is the thought that counts. And we've pulled away from that a little bit in the past, 55 years.
I also think it's tough when people, like Jeff, honestly, like, and I say this as personal experience, Christmas intimidates the hell out of me with somebody like Jeff because he loves Christmas so much. And he is somebody that buys Christmas gifts for people throughout the entire year and saves them to give. I am not in that headspace to do that. And so even though it's like it's the thought that counts, it's the thought that counts. It feels very like placating, and it doesn't feel, even if it's meant genuinely, it doesn't feel genuinely, especially if it's somebody that nails gift giving so hard, where it's like watching somebody that's an Olympic athlete that they're like, yeah, you just practice and then you're like super good at it. And honestly, as long as you're putting in the effort, that's all that counts. But then you're watching them do, they're a figure skater and they're doing triple axles and we're like, hey, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like, it's hard.
I think a lot of those people are like, hey man, you're probably not going to get to this level, but you should push yourself and try and put that in there. And yeah, like one of the fights and one of the reasons I wrote this specific thing, that I believe that Christmas lists are impersonal and kind of a little insulting when it comes to gift giving. And this is an argument that Val and I have quite often, where I'm like, no, I just want you to take notice and think of me instead of just being like, here's the chore that you asked me to do, or here's the errand that I ran for you that you could, like if you want a purse, we'll go get you a new purse or something like that. And I'm not saying that's the specific thing, but I'm picking.
I was like, I'm not a big purse person.
No,
I don't know why that's the example.
I'm picking like something
Oh, I
that's,
thought Jeff wanted the purse.
Yeah.
but it's like when people like are like, well, this is a thing I need this jacket, or I want this jacket, or something like that. That kind of removes the thought process of what I believe gift giving is about.
But that's what
is,
you believe gift giving is.
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
really-
you.
Like you have some borderline Shiite beliefs on Christmas, and you can't like inflict those on people. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to. It's just like
A little bit.
well, it's also like it bums me out. It's not like I'm against it. And if Val keeps pushing it and is like, just give me a list, I'll be like, fine, here's a list.
Well, here,
But
that's-
that bums me out because it's just like, I don't want to have to think. Just let me go and fulfill my obligation. And that's the thing that I feel is the bad part about gift giving, is the obligation aspect of it. And I think part of the process is the thinking and the figuring out what the perfect thing for someone is, or coming across something. And Adam, for a fact that I don't just give Christmas gifts that I sit on and wait for. I just gave you a bag of shit that I came across over the course of the few months that were like small little things that I was like, I think Adam's going to fucking love this.
And see, that's my whole thing is I don't know why that can't just be the thing when it comes to giving the people you love gifts. Like I was on the same record store Instagram where I found you that Masters of the Universe soundtrack.
Yep.
I was on there and found this like weird ass 7-inch vinyl tribute to Clive Barker or some shit.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, Andy needs that. So I just fucking bought it and I'm just going to send it to him. Like it's not really a Christmas gift. It was just like a $12 thing that I saw that it seemed like Andy would like. So I'm just going to fucking fire it off. And I don't know that like gift giving needs to have all the pageantry around it. I get it. Like
it's a touchstone.
I'm not saying I don't want Christmas gifts. I should make that very clear to
everybody.
Everyone
should absolutely send us Christmas gifts.
Yeah, everyone who's on the hook to get me a Christmas gift. I absolutely want one. I'm just like, I'm mostly just spitballing because we're recording an episode here, but I do kind of feel like it's just such a corporate holiday. Like it's
man,
just
And
a means to get us spending money as a populace. And if you're not going to go in for all the religious stuff, like you don't really get to add your own rituals to it and expect other people to like live by them.
I also like, and with, first of all the holidays are corporate now too. Like we're spending a ton of money during Halloween because you're spending money on decorations. And while you're not getting gifts for people during Halloween, all of the like experiences that come along with Halloween are super expensive. So like
they?
Halloween is also expensive. Valentine's Day is, they're all corporate. But like with Jeff's thing about not liking when somebody gives you a list, here's my thoughts of it is like, I appreciate a list because if Jeff sends me a list and I look at these things, I also like that as like a touchstone where is like, you have a starting point. It's always awful to start with nothing and to just go in completely blind. Cause like somebody like Jeff is really difficult to shop for because his interests, you're one of the hardest people to shop for. And it's because Jeff has obviously a lot of interests, but you already have so much stuff in that interest where I don't want to get you something you already have. It's also an interest that I share partially, but my knowledge of that stuff isn't as in depth. So I have a really hard time finding things where I'm like last year I got you something I was super stoked about. You already had it. And that was my big fear is like,
wait, what was that thing?
The clawfuls. Like you already had the one I got you, and then I got you an animation cell, and you already had 2 other animation cells.
And they were great, and I just sent it in to get framed.
But
I loved it. I loved those gifts.
But it's still disappointing to me because I was expecting to get you something that you were going to be jazzed about because you didn't already have it, and then you already had it. So this is why I appreciate a list, and somebody like me too, where like Jeff loves getting nerdy gifts and stuff because he knows I like that stuff too. I've put a moratorium on that for now because I have too much stuff. And I'm like, I'd rather you get me things that I actually need that I either can't afford to buy myself or keep pushing off because I'm paying for other stuff. And it's an afterthought where it's something I actually will really appreciate because I do need it. I just have other things I have to pay for before I can get to it.
Should I just
And
give
like,
you $500 for Christmas?
no, I'm not saying that, but like, that's, well, that's one of my things is everyone's like, money is so impersonal for Christmas and blah, 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 or for birthdays or whatever. Fucking who can't use some extra cash? Because one of the best gifts you can give me is me using that money to pay a bill that has been keeping me up at night. So like, so it's just, I don't know. Like, I think part of it is actually listening to what people are asking for. And even if you can't get them that exact thing or can't afford that exact thing, at least you have a place to start from. And you can even kind of use it as a jumping off point to switch gears into something else that would make somebody happy.
Yeah, I think as far as cash goes, I think it's the perfect gift for kids. Like, no adult knows what the fucking 6-year-old niece in their life wants. But that kid knows. Just fucking give them money. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, even when they do get you, like my mom's a great example. She comes with the best intentions and is so excited to give gifts every year. But like my mom and I, we see each other once, maybe twice a year. Like we've evolved as people. My interests are not the same now as they were 10 years ago. But as what happens all the time is like your parents, they kind of, it's like you're frozen in carbonite from whatever age you left the house. They can't like see you as a fully formed adult and that your things have changed. Where if my mom gets me a Christmas gift or a birthday gift, it's usually something that's like, oh, but I thought you loved this. And it's like, yeah, when I was 15, but I'm 37 now. And like,
I guess I really like the personalization of gift giving. And so anything that removes that personalization, like some of the best gifts I ever gotten, like to rebut what you had said, Adam, about cash being such a good gift for kids. Some of the best gifts I ever gotten were shit I didn't know existed until an adult was like, oh, this thing's fucking awesome. I didn't know Ninja Turtles were a thing until I got them as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Like, like I understand that aspect of it. And there are other points to it. And obviously I don't expect everybody to view gift giving the same way that I do. But I also I hope people understand why I feel the way that I do and like why I put that thought and effort into it.
Well, I mean, that's part of it too. I do, like you've told me about it, but I don't know if you've like all of the family stuff behind why you feel the way you do about Christmas, unless you said it on a podcast that I'm not on, in which case, fuck you, Pat. Val's, did you say it on Val's fucking podcast?
I don't know. I probably just got made fun of by the two hosts as the podcast. But
that could have been this one.
No, kind of along what Adam said is we grew up dirt poor, and somehow my parents miraculously pulled off these Christmases where my mom would think really hard and she would have acts. I don't know where she got money for this. I don't want to know where she got money for this. We would have these these years of very scant existence, and then Christmas would happen and it would be like that would be this big payoff, and it became this sort of destination point for me over the course of the year where I was like, yeah, but Christmas is going to be here. And so I really grew that appreciation for the effort that was put into gift giving by my parents, for all of the failures that parents oftentimes it's just an issue, I think, where people don't understand their kids. Sorry, I got sidetracked in there. Like people aren't following what their kids want, and therefore it oftentimes becomes a problem. But if you pay attention, you can knock it out of the park. And so I've always made it a point to try to pay attention and do what I think is the gift giving experience that makes people know that you care about me enough to think, or I care about you enough to really think about you. And that's what it means to me.
I also like when people make things. Oh God.
My love.
Oh, thought we're gonna get out of this without Jeff singing another Christmas song. I think too. I also like if somebody is very crafty, that there's something that they're very good at. If they're very good at like embroidering, or they're good at woodworking, or they make jewelry, whatever it is. Like those, I always appreciate as gifts because it's something that they're very good at, and that means something where it's something that they made you too. So like it's not even just about having to spend a bunch of money, but like something like that I always view as great.
Do you want me to record you a custom podcast?
I would rather money.
It would be the first podcast of mine that you ever listened to.
Why do you always think that I don't listen to your podcast? Like it's
I lay so many traps to see if you listen, and you never come back to it. I get it.
First of all, a lot of them are behind a paywall, so I'm not going to be able to listen.
Yeah.
To
Also,
them
don't
anyway.
do that. Don't do that. Sometimes
Don't
people
actually
don't
do
have
that.
It's also like
Actually do that. What the
we're
hell's
in a
wrong with you?
relationship. I'm like, I don't want to listen to you talk when you're not in front of me.
I got to be honest, Val. I don't want your support.
Good,
So
because
the
you're not going to get it.
the last thing about gifts for me, like that thing Jeff just described, I didn't get any of that from my parents. Like gift giving just slowly became a thing that wasn't as important. And as a result, for me, Christmas, like the real gift is that it's a time where people just have to give you a fucking break. Like no matter what kind of things are happening in your life, like during the week of Christmas, people got to chill. Like it's like a universal week off. It's like
Mhm.
a ceasefire in the war that is life.
Well,
Like,
I mean, that
it's
is
just
a famous. It's a famous story about the Christmas soccer game in World War I. Yeah.
yeah. And like I love that gap between Christmas and New Year's Day, because that is just a time dedicated to doing nothing.
It's the holiday hangover. Yeah.
That is what
Chilling out.
I always looked forward to the most. I'm talking about the week between Christmas and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
It's not about recovering from a hangover. It's about not having to do shit.
I
Yep.
didn't,
What I want.
I didn't mean a literal hangover. I meant from the holidays. It's just
meant
this
the-
time where everybody's just
Film franchise.
yes. It's
Okay.
the holiday hangover. That's going to be part 4, and it's going to be great.
But since we are talking about gifts, and since people do be shopping, I would like to move on to my next opinion. I don't know how unpopular this is going to be. I can't get the nation's temperature on it, but stores being open on holidays and on Black Friday is an objectively good thing.